guys, I'm Tati Gabrielle, and you're watching What's Poppin' with Bruce Crossings.
Hey everyone, Bruce from What's Popping here, and we are continuing with our Comic-Con Cape Town media coverage. That is right, there's still so much to cover from the con that even though it ended a little while ago, we're still getting through it all, and today we're going to be covering Tati Gabrielle's panel highlights. But before we jump into that, the reason I'm here is just to give a massive shout out to my friends over at GES Cosplay. And the reason I'm doing that is because you may have noticed, if you've been following the channel for a little while, that our coverage at this con was a little bit different. And that is because we have partnered with GES. Now, our plan moving forward is to cover Comic-Con Cape Town and Comic-Con Africa to bring you guys the best possible coverage of these events. If that's something you guys are interested in, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button because there's a ton more content coming and we're going to be covering every single Comic-Con and as many geek events in South Africa as possible. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and check out Tati Gabrielle on the main stage at Comic-Con Cape Town.
Please put your hands together and welcome the one and only Tati Gabrielle! Good morning!
Good morning!
We were talking about it backstage. You have still not quite adjusted to the time change.
No, I have not. One of these days. Tonight I will. Tonight I will, John.
Keep our fingers crossed. So what did you get up to last night?
I got to walk around the V&A yesterday and see some of the shops, and that was nice. And then I went to a lovely little restaurant called Tang.
What did you have? What did you try?
I had the most amazing oysters that I've ever eaten in my life. These like truffle shiso oysters. What else did I have? I also had this the crepe Suzette, the Mandarin crepe Suzette, which is very nice. And the pork belly there is on point. Yeah.
They get their barbecue, their bride. Hey, mess around. I'm learning some words here. I've been here a little bit. So, we had a great time chatting with you yesterday. I went back and thought of some other questions, and then we're going to open up questions to the audience. So if you have a question, just get ready and prepare. Clearly we're here at Comic-Con. What is your fandom? Like, what's the one thing that you geek out on?
Okay, so I'm not even used to still. So I love the X-Men, particularly Storm.
Yeah.
I secretly really want to be Storm, guys. I need everybody to help me manifest that, okay? Manifest it. So that's something that I super geek out over is like the X-Men and Funko Pops. I really love Funko Pops.
Really? Did you get the Comic-Con Africa exclusive already?
I've already been down here yesterday. I went through the Funko Pop station and the Silver Toy shop, and I got oh my god, I got this Bruce Lee limited edition Funko that I'm very, very proud of and very happy. So yeah.
Any other Funko Pop fans out there?
Yes, Funko Pops. My collection is looking really good. I'm very happy and very.
Well, and it's nice because you get to take one home from here and remember South Africa. You know, it's great. It's something that you can pick up everywhere. So that's fantastic. That's awesome. So which one is the pride of your collection? What's the one that's like the?
I mean, I feel like my Bruce Lee is now like the prize of my collection. Yeah, like I don't know, like because I never thought that I would find a Bruce Lee Funko. I was like, it's just like, and so I did karate growing up. Like it's very special to me in my childhood, and my sensei used to reference Bruce Lee a lot, and his philosophies and teachings. So yeah, I feel like it touches a really special place in my heart. Yeah.
So let's talk about your karate, because that's not something that we probably expected you to. You mentioned yesterday you were a black belt, correct? So tell us about that. Like, how'd you get into that? Like, how does that start?
Well, so me and my brother both, when we were really young, when I was in kindergarten, we did Taekwondo first through the school that we were going to, elementary school that we were going to, and then we changed schools. But my mom still really wanted to keep us in martial arts. My mom is a first generation Korean adoptee. And though she was not able to give us Korean-specific culture or Asian culture, she wanted to surround us with it as much as she possibly could to make sure that we knew that that was part of us. So when we left the school that we were going to, my mom happened to find a dojo house, and we started there. Well, my brother started first, and then I was really pestering, and like he was actually really mad that I wanted to do it too. My brother got his black belt in 4.5 years. I got mine in 5. And we were on the competition team. Like I traveled for it. But 13 years of my life, it was my life. 5 days a week. I was 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. That was my life. And I wouldn't have traded it for the world. I think it's something that really built my character, really built my work ethic, really built, I guess, my resilience to the world. And yeah, though I don't always get to use my martial art itself, like I do when I get to do stunts and stuff, like I do my own stunts, which is really great. But just the teachings and the sort of mental space that my senseis put us in, is something that I still very much carry and live with every day.
So you've been able to then take those teachings and translate that into your other job. So what you use some of the physical aspects when you're doing your own stunts, but what were some of the things that you took from there that you were able to put into acting?
I think one of the biggest things is learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's just through life, not even just with acting, but long days on set. I can be on set anywhere from 8 to 18 hours, and to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable means I can get through that day and sort of take joy in the fact that I'm sleep deprived and sort of lean then more into the magic of it all. Another one for me was Enzon Imensuke, which means view of a distant mountain, which essentially means to see the bigger picture, which of course on a film set is extremely important. Like, there's so many small bits and parts and things that go into making a movie, making a TV show, and if you are not a team player and you're not committed to seeing the bigger picture, it can make a film set very disjointed and very frustrating for everyone. So I'm very happy that I learned that, because I have come across a lot of people who don't always have that in the forefront of their mind. And humility. That was something huge that my sensei really drilled into us, because especially we would come up against other competition teams when we would go and compete that were very cocky and very they thought they were gonna and my sensei's, despite, he's like, no matter how good you guys are, no matter how many butts you can be, don't I ever see you guys walking out on this floor with your chest out, you're hot stuff. It should always be, he taught us very much that usually the quietest person in the room is the person who should be most intimidated by. And to just stay humble and to know what you're capable of, but not feel the need to brandish it, is one of the best qualities that somebody can have.
Sounds like you had a really great teacher, so.
Yeah, no, I love my sensei. I still speak to my senseis to this day, so, yeah.
Always just reach out to them, a little reminder, hey, you made that difference, that's awesome. So, at this point, I'd like to open it up to some questions from the audience. So if you have a question, just raise your hand nice and high so that one of our folks in the yellow shirt can see it. And then when you speak at the microphone, put it as close to your mouth as possible and just speak up so we can hear you.
Hi, Tati. I just want to say I love you. My first question is, who's your favorite person to work with? Because you've had the opportunity to, play lots of different roles with different actors.
That's so hard, because I guess I have a few people that have been my favorite people to work with. Starting with Jared Joseph. Working with Jared Joseph on The 100 he was one of my favorite people to work with from the start. Richard Coyle, who played Father Blackwood in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. You would never guess how silly and goofy that man is, because he plays such a serious character on screen. He is the goofiest dude, probably goofier than all of the young actors that were on that show. Mark Wahlberg has been one of my favorite people to work with. He's a lot of fun to work with. Penn Badgley is one of my favorite people, and Victoria Pedretti. I didn't get to work with Victoria on You as much, directly, but just being around her on set and the conversations that we got to have were really fun. And Eliza Taylor. Eliza really became one of my big sisters. Like we got really close when I was working with 100. And Nadia Hilker. So I guess those are a few of my favorite people.
Yeah. Thanks, Tati. And then like a body slam, if I could give you one hug.
I can't touch anybody right now, but I will give you.
Love you.
I love you.
It's just an inside note for y'all as they get booked for other projects. There's COVID protocols in place, so they're not allowed to. It's the secret way of saying she's about to work on something really cool. So make sure that she can pass that COVID test and make it to set. So.
Thanks, guys.
They're like, oh no, she has to pass.
I'm actually usually a hugger. Like I really like to hug people, but I think
No, she needs to pass that test and get that checked. So another question.
Hi, Tati.
Hi.
So I'm angling right now. Sorry about my voice is really bad.
No, it's okay. You look super cool.
I just wanted to ask, how was it working on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Also, I just want to say, props to you because it's really hard to play a character that you want to hate, but really love at the same time. I admire your character in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So just wanted to know how it was working on a set.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you. I really appreciate that. And that was one of my favorite projects to work on. Our cast was so close. We would have massage circles all the time and do jam sessions on set. Because we had a few musicians in our cast. We spent every living, waking moment together, both on and off set. The crew as well. We would have parties all the time. We'd have game nights regularly, which was really fun. So that was a blast to work on. And then on top of that, being able to do magic every day was also sick. Since I was a kid, I've always loved everything wizardry and magic. So that was my brother was actually the first person I called because we watched the old Sabrina the Teenage Witch when we were younger, faithfully. So when I booked that role, my brother, I called him immediately. He's like, you will never guess what I just got. That was definitely will always be one of my favorite memories with that song. Yeah, it was really beautiful. Hello.
So I had a very personal question that most people would ask. But so, what's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? Oh my god, that's a great question. I have a few favorite colors. I guess the rainbow technically is my favorite color. But if I had to choose a color, aquamarine is it's my favorite color to look at, not my favorite color to wear. Yeah, because there's a difference in that. You feel me? My brother actually recently for Christmas, he was trying to make me this jacket, and he just started by asking me a few weeks before, what's your favorite color? And I was like, aquamarine. So he made me this aquamarine jacket that I was like, I love you so much, and I'm not gonna wear this. I don't like to wear this color. It's all over my room, all over I just love to look at it. And then second to that is yellow and orange.
I just wanted to say as well, because you're a huge inspiration for me, because actually learning how to act at the moment, I think it's really hard. So that's fine. That's beautiful. And I heard from earlier that you used to watch the old version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Funny enough, I'm actually almost done with it.
You said you're what?
I'm busy watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the old one, and I'm almost finished at the moment.
Oh, nice! That's sick. Thank you. No, thank you. And good luck.
Hi, Tati.
Hello.
Hey, why you look beautiful today. I'm supposed to ask you how your preparation or your stunt work preparation was for Uncharted compared to all the sort of serious roles that you do. And then would you like to be in more action-driven movies in the future? And I know you said Storm, but surely Catwoman, maybe?
Okay, that's actually, yes. So both of those are right. Okay, still look. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do this one. Okay, so starting with that, yes. I wanted, so if Zoe Kravitz didn't just do Catwoman, I like that. It was like between Storm and Catwoman because like Eartha Kitt, the original Catwoman, has been my idol since I was 12. So I have always wanted to be Catwoman. But I was like, all right, well, Zoe just did it. They're probably not going to do that again anytime soon. So, but Storm, like, we're on our third iteration of Storm now. Like, what's up? So that's like, yeah. And then, as far as like my preparation for Uncharted versus like the more serious roles, it was pretty much like all physical, my preparation, or majority, I should say, physical, my preparation for Uncharted. Like for about, it was like somewhere between 4 and 6 months, they like assigned us all personal trainers. Like I had to like get all like beefy. Like I was so buff in that movie, like to the point, I was 20 pounds heavier of pure muscle. To the point that I had really bad back issues after the fact because my skeletal structure couldn't hold the weight properly. But I look back at photos and I was like, oh my god, I'm so buff. So yeah, there was a lot of that as far as the preparation. And then I did actually a lot of reading on, because I have to have not necessarily a serious aspect to every one of my roles, but I have to have method to madness to every one of my characters. So I did a lot of research into psychopathy, like psychopaths, because that was what me and my director denoted Joe Braddock to be, was a full-blown psychopath. And so I wanted to understand what that really meant. So I did a lot of research into that. Yeah, I feel like there's another, and if I wanted to do more, I mean, I want to do both because like I said, like with like my martial arts training, like if I can do stunts and stuff like that's sick. Like it's always really fun. Like Uncharted was like the most fun for me to do just because of that. But as far as like, I guess artistic fulfillment, I still need those like juicier roles and be able to like dive into those characters. So yeah, I want to balance. Yeah, thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. One final question, make it good. He's actually how I learned what a bri was. He used to talk about what a bri was. So, he interviewed me in Johannesburg and asked me a bunch of Afrikaans words and made me try to figure out what they were. It wasn't very nice.
I want to take that test. I probably
See, so she
know
wants to take the test now.
I've got the test here for you.
Whoa, pause. Now, if you've made it this far, you will know that Tati was talking to me in the video, and we actually set that interview up thanks to my friends over at GES Cosplay. So once you finish this panel highlights video, go ahead, check out that interview. I'll link it right up here and in the description down below. Now, back to Tati.
Okay.
But are you straight in front of everyone now? I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I did get South African snacks as a prize though, so that was it.
As long as I can get that, I'm happy.
I've got the note for you. I'm keen. I said to set up with a team.
Okay, great.
I just wanted to thank you so much for being here. I'm so thankful to have you here. I just wanted to ask you, you spoke in a previous interview about Pen really dissociating from himself when he plays Joe. With some of your more villainous roles, and you're kind of empathetic, outgoing, lovely person, do you feel you also really need to dissociate when you're taking on someone like, Joe Braddock or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. That's such a great question because I've actually never thought about it like in the way that, especially with all the conversations Penn and I had. But like with both Prudence and Joe Braddock, like I would never stay in those characters. So because they were so far from me and so like, yeah, not always the nicest people, especially Braddock. That yeah, I would have to completely disassociate that when I'm them and I'm them completely. But then when I'm not, I have to let it go because I don't want to carry that with me. And I think that, and I think that just for a lot of actors, like it's important for us to maintain our mental health in that way. I was just thinking, maybe rest in peace. I was thinking a lot about Heath Ledger yesterday, him playing the Joker, and how in Hollywood in general, unfortunately, Hollywood sees actors as expendable life-size dolls. Like that, okay, you bring them in, play the part, and then what happens to us after? They could care less, and unfortunately, like that's what happened to people like Heath Ledger, that he couldn't get out of that headspace, and it destroyed him. And so it's something that really saddens me, and actually I'm looking to now, a friend of mine and I have developed sort of this idea to try to help specifically actors in that way with how do we carry our characters, but also make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our mental, so that we don't have more tragedies like that, or that people don't go into such dark spaces. So yeah, thank you for that question.
Thank you so much. We'll sit on that on videos next.
Every day you're here, you come out looking more and more like Storm from the X-Men. I just want to point this out. Like, clearly you are trying to send a message to somebody.
I mean, it's whatever, I'm just doing me, I mean, whatever ideas people get in their heads, it's great.
Well, have you had a fun weekend with us here in Cape Town?
I've had such a fun weekend here. I feel like you were saying this morning, it's gone by so fast.
I know.
I'm so sad.
It's Sunday, but you're sticking around for a little bit, right?
Yes, I am.
What is it that you want to see? Where are you going?
I'm gonna go shark diving.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very excited about it. I surf back home, and like that's my only fear is sharks. And I feel like hopefully my theory is going to work out for me.
What's the theory?
My theory is that if I literally face my fear, if I go up against just see them, and I'm very much an animal person anyway, and usually what dissipates any fears I can have of any animal is just watching them and seeing their behaviors. Then I understand how they operate, and then I can respect them, and then we can coexist together. So my theory is if I see the sharks and come face to face with them, then I won't be afraid of them anymore. Hopefully that stays that way, just make me more afraid of them, but I think it's going to work out.
Look, I already know how it's going to go, and it's funny because a couple of us all went to dinner last night, and we talked about it, and we're like, yeah, we just really didn't know what to expect, and then she showed up, and her energy was just, we instantly felt at ease and comfortable, and just not what we expected. And so what's going to happen is these sharks are going to see you, and they're going to feel that energy, and they're going to tell all their other shark friends to just leave you alone while you're surfing.
Oh, thanks.
That's what's going to happen.
I hope so. That means a lot.
Like legit, like I mean, you're right, you all instantly love her right now, right? Am I wrong? There's just something about her, I don't know what it is, but I just, you play these really serious, like, it's just...
Yeah, people always expect me to be super broody and serious and really mean. And I'm I'm actually really bubbly and very goofy.
No, like legit, the fact that you came out, I surf back home, I'm like, yeah, that's the vibe, 100%. 100%. Well, it's been wonderful having you. So you were telling me backstage that there was someone that asked a really great question when they were in the photo op. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so I don't know, is he here? Matthew, are you here? Oh, hang on. Okay, well he's not here. But he wanted to ask basically what advice I would give to anyone wanting to be an actor or an artist tonight. And it was based off of this other young lady that I was speaking to, Zoe, during my autograph sessions yesterday. And I was telling her, I asked her, what is her why in life? Because I very much believe that no matter what it is that you're doing, what it is that you want to do, you have to have a why in life. If you don't, then any fear that you have to anything that you want to do, anything that's holding you back will always be there to hold you back. But say for me, if I didn't have a why as far as being an actor, then I would not stay in my business because my business is very harrowing sometimes and very aggressive and quite savage. So my why is that I wanted to touch people. I wanted to be able to change people's lives through storytelling, to impact people, to be a beacon of light for somebody when they're watching their TV or movies, and for them to be able to see a piece of themselves and get through their day. So that's my why. And so I hope that all of you, no matter what you're doing in life, that you have a why and don't try to find them, because that will be your light at the end of the tunnel always. That'll be your North Star to follow. It'll make any fear that you have seem so small when you have a why, because that why will always be bigger than any fear that you can possibly have. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys.
So I'm gonna steal that.
Please do.
But I'm gonna give you one to steal as well, and I want you to take that. So I was told by a very wise person that we are all given a gift. We all have a gift, and that you're the most successful in life when you use that gift. And the gift is that thing that you can do. You can't really explain why you do it. You just are able to do it. So what do you believe that your gift is?
A lot of people call me a light or a sunshine. So I feel like that's my gift, that people say that when I just come around, they feel lighter, that they feel better, that I bring a good energy to people. And so I'm happy for that to be my gift, and I'm happy to spread that wherever I go. To be a little light bulb.
That's awesome. And as, sure enough, it's the first thing I said when you walked out, it's like that. That's awesome. So use your gifts, fantastic. So, this is their last time for them to ask you some questions. So if you have a question for Tati Gabrielle right now, just raise your hand. We got some folks in the audience with some microphones. They're going to come over to you. This is it, your last chance.
Hi. Oh my God, yes. Okay, awesome.
But my question is not related to that.
Okay.
What was it like working with Giancarlo Esposito on the latest stuff?
It was a dream. I was talking about this yesterday. Like, he is now one of the most favorite people that I've ever worked with. I feel like I learned so much from him, not only in acting, but just in life, and how to carry oneself through life, how to stay strong through life. Like, my first time sitting down with Giancarlo, we had what was supposed to be like a little lunch. We ended up sitting for 3 hours and just talking about life. And like he told me like his life story basically, and it made me respect him. I already had so much respect for him because I've been watching him since I was a kid. But it just grew that respect, and the level of support and just encouragement that he gave me and continues to give me still to this day, like is something that I couldn't replace. I'm just very grateful for. So that's my pop. Still now, I still call him Pop.
As serious in your life as he is in the shows? Is he like
Oh no, he's not. He is a hoot and a holler. Like my favorite thing about Giancarlo is he will make jokes and he'll be the one to laugh at his joke, and he does not care whether or not you think it's funny, whether or not you are enjoying it. He will crack up laughing at his own joke, and I love that. And you can't help but to laugh because his laugh is also so hearty and so like just joyful, so rich. Like he's not as serious and uptight as he is in his characters. Like he's a goof, a big goof. Yeah, he likes to have fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Tati. Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you, are there any future projects that you're working on? Projects, sorry.
I don't know. I'm about to start a new project in a couple months that I can't fully talk about, but it is very exciting. And I'm actually working on producing some projects of my own right now. Me and my producing partner are finishing developing a series currently that we're hoping to get off the ground this year. And then I have 2 other ideas that I hope to start developing this year so I can get off the ground next year. So I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be my producerial debut as sort of in a way. And I also have a movie coming out later this year that I shot last year called The Supremes at Girls Only. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you. First of all, I love you.
where are you? Oh, hi.
So I love you so much. So The House is one of my favorite shows, and I love Willow so much. So I wanted to ask, how do you feel after the last episode just being here 1 few days ago?
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
How do you feel about the Our House ending just a few days ago?
I'm very sad about it. I think that show was such a good beacon of light for so many LGBTQ youth. It was like nothing that, Disney or TV, I think, or cartoons have ever done. And that was the thing that I really adored most about it. So it makes me very sad that it's ending, or that it has ended. I think that also our showrunner, Donna, I don't think that she was able to tell the full story that she wanted to tell. And that really breaks my heart as well. I hope that I mean, things can get rebooted, so I'm really hoping that if the fans make enough noise about it, and that everybody go for Disney, tell them we want it back. Because I really also love being Willow. It makes me emotional that just Willow's arc through the course of the show, and how she started sort of, she was made to be small, was very small, very shy, didn't know the extent of her own power. She came out roaring by the end. I'm very disappointed, but I hope it has a second chance. Thank you.
Hi, I started watching Kaleidoscope yesterday, and I was just wondering, your character was adopted by a Korean family. Was that just a coincidence, or did they change that for you?
No, actually, Hannah was always supposed to be of Korean descent. Her mother as well, Lily, is also, I don't know at what point you're at in Kaleidoscope, but Hannah's mother is also half Korean. She was always intended to be of Korean descent, and so that's actually the first project that I was able to play my own race, which was very special to me. You will also see me speak Korean in the course of the show, so the Korean speaking was, I guess, done by me in that way. That was not originally intended for me or Liz, SJ Sun, Liz, to speak Korean. It was something that I brought up because there's different points in the show where Ava's character speaks Spanish, and I was like, well, can we speak Korean? Can we make it, I wanted to make it as authentic as possible. I did make that contribution.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hi, Tati.
Hi.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
One thing I noticed during your Q&A, especially you and Kat, you both mentioned that you love doing your own stunts. Why is that such a huge thing for you, and what is your favorite stunt to do?
So it's a huge thing for me because of my martial arts and athletic background. So karate was my life for 13 years. I was on the competition team. I was a teacher. I trained, taught, competed, everything. Karate was literally my life for 13 years. And I never wanted to let that go. And I was also an athlete. I played basketball for 12 years. So I wanted, and I was very proud of my athleticism. And so I wanted to be able to carry that into whatever I did in life. And so being that, enacting stunts are part of that, I was like, oh no, I want to do that. I also want to be able to show other young women that that we can be badasses, that we don't have to back down to the challenge, and that to always strive forward. And my favorite stunts to do are usually fight scenes because of my karate background, and I like kicking the butts of men, so that's always really great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi. Oh my goodness, crazy. How are you?
Good. How are you? I love your hair.
Thank you so much. Love your hair too.
Thank you.
So I feel like you touched on it earlier, but you always been doing such serious roles after the process of your But when you did, what made you go into voice act for the Owl House? And when I found out you were voice acting Willow, I was like, which remind me of?
Okay, so what's crazy is that what most people don't know is that I was actually, before the Owl House, I had done quite a bit of voice work. I'm in the Emoji Movie. I did another show on TBS called Tarantula, which was really fun and funny. But what brought me to voiceover just in general was I always loved cartoons since I was little. I actually wanted to be an animator before I wanted to be an actor. So that was my way to sort of stay close to that love and passion of mine by doing voiceover and being in the cartoon space. I would love to do more, so I hope it doesn't stop at Owl House. And I like the way too that it requires, as an actor, it requires you to push your imagination even further because you don't have the elements of environment, costume, all of that. And most of the time, even you don't have another actor that you're acting with. You're in the booth by yourself. So I do like the challenge of that and having to really create how big and how powerful she was. And I feel like growing up, growing up, I didn't know how powerful I was. It took a lot of time for me to find my strength and to find the confidence in myself. So Willow really spoke to me in that way. And so that's why I was saying that I love, by the end of the show, that she is full-blown badass, full-blown kicking down doors, like not afraid of anybody. And I'm like, yes! Like, yes! And I hope to all the little girls out there, or to anybody out there, that they saw and feel the same way about Willow and can take strength from that. So yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, quick question while they move on. So what are some of your techniques that you learned in karate that you still use in your daily life?
Techniques or like
principles, techniques?
Okay, principles, yeah. So I think we touched on this a bit the other day. Like, the biggest one for me is learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I feel like when you can learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, you can make the right move. So that's one of the biggest principles that I still take to this day. Seeing the bigger picture of everything that's on the Mexican. Not getting so, because for me I have really bad anxiety and I can get focused on one little bit, and it's like, no, but if you take a step back and look at everything, it's not that serious and it's not that hard. Another one for me is Kensatsu, which means to kill with one blow. Meaning, to put your all into, for me how I take that is to put your all into something. Don't spread yourself too thin, don't do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. On one thing, yes, do a little bit at a time if you need to, but still put your all into it. I'm very much an advocate of I want to give my full self to everything that I'm a part of. And then just, my sense, it really drove humility into us. And that's something that I always have to take. Like, I tell my friends and family all the time, if I ever get too big for my britches, somebody please slap me. Somebody please knock me down off that pedestal, because I never want to let my job make me feel like I'm better than anybody, because I don't think that just because I'm on TV or whatever does not make me better than anyone. I'm a human being just trying to live my life and do the best that I can, and I should always stay humble in that. So yeah.
Well, it's hard. Dave talked about it. Acting is your job. That's your job. That's your 9 to 5. That's what you do. And how many of us out here are actually defined by our job? If you're an analyst or but there's so much more to you, as we've learned, than the acting, which is great. So.
That's what I always want to maintain, is those parts of me. Acting is what I do, it's not what I can be.
All right.
Hi, Matthew.
How's it going?
Good, how are you? That's who I was talking about, Elliot. That's Matthew.
Yes.
I've already told him about you.
I'm kind of gonna
She did answer the question. Oh, she told the whole story about who you are and how you met and about the why. So you have to come up with a new question. No pressure.
No, I don't actually have anything now because that was my question.
Well, where were you? You didn't hear. We waited for you.
I was actually busy with something, so I was like...
No, it's okay. It's okay. But, I even called for you. I was like, I can't remember now. But that's okay. I'm happy you're here now. Yeah, I did.
I apologize again.
Oh, no. Don't be sorry. No, we're messing with you.
It was a great story.
Yeah.
So, we couldn't wait any longer.
Kind of deserves a graphic novel.
I think so. Yeah. I'm writing it now. It's already stopped.
But
You have to animate it, but...
no problem.
Okay, cool. Deal.
I think that's about everything else.
Okay.
Hi, Tati. First of all, just want to say thank you for saving my life, because I started watching Sabrina 2 years ago when I was depressed and suicide. And seeing the role of Christians really empowered me as this black bitch.
Oh my God, yes!
And right now I'm seeing a very different version of what Bridget is. I'm seeing you as that is, while helping you of light. So my question is, how do you compartmentalize these parts of acting and the personal world between these two dynamics? Because I feel like I'm someone who is very much like playing a character, because that's my competency from my mental conditions. So that's my question.
Okay, well, so I guess for me in life, okay, I'm like, there's I guess a few ways I might answer this question. One, so I mean, just as an actor, like when it comes to my characters, like I believe that they all have their own lives, meaning that their souls in the ether that have lived, that are, that will be, and I'm just a vessel for them. And so at the end of every day, I'm able to release them. However, at the same time, I do take pieces of each of my characters, and each of my characters teach me something. Teach me something either about myself, or give me, like, Prudence very much gave me confidence, and gave me, like, I guess this unapologetic, like, nature and way to step out into the world and truly be myself. But thank you. But I will also say, so I struggle with mental illness as well, and I know that it's a process, and I would say to you, never necessarily try to suppress that part of yourself either. If there's days that you want to cry, cry. If there's days that you don't want to go outside, take that day to not go outside. But you don't have to put on a show for anybody. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. Don't sit in it, don't wallow in it. That's one thing, don't sit in it. But allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to go through the motions and go through whatever it is that you need to go through in that moment. That's how I get through it. I battle with depression and bipolar disorder, so some days I'm just not feeling it, and that's okay. And I tell myself, you know what? Today I'm just gonna sit on the couch and eat my hot Cheetos and be a slob, and that's just gonna be okay. Thank you. So do that, okay? Make sure that you give space for yourself, and like if you don't want to put on that mask and put on a show for people, don't do that. Don't expend that energy.
Thank you for being my therapist. You saved my life.
Thank you for coming today.
Turn my mind off. So your one final day of autographs and photos, and then you're off to explore South Africa. I want to thank you so much for just being a light at this convention and being you and exceeding everyone's expectations.
Thank you.
So the one thing